All right. Get a little swig right there. Slags, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Yeah.
We got a big one today, big dog. So it's a Thursday, and we are going to have newly minted national champion and All-American Lathan Ransom.
Woo!
Our dude does a great job joining with us, and we're so excited to have him in here today. Coming up in our next segment, Slags. So we're going to be able to get that rolling. We've got the Buckeye celebration.
It's a celebration, bitches.
It's going to be happening this Sunday at the Shoe. I encourage everybody to get out there. It's going to be free. Parking's free.
What time?
Noon on Sunday. So get out to the Shoe. Make sure you enjoy it. I think the players are having a little get together this evening. Ryan's putting together, get some dinner for those guys, which is awesome. Kind of one last probably hurrah. And I'm curious. I was listening to my guy Rothman talk about this, and Maddie. I think these dudes have been on one here, Schlegs, for about the last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. We're going into Thursday, which Thursday is like the first night of the weekend. But for these guys, I think they're living in a Rick James world, so the weekends never end. And I was talking to Zwick about when we won the national championship in 2002, like just how wild that was and like how much we got after it. And I think I ended up partying like 13 days straight. Just like everybody's celebration everywhere. You want to come here and hang out? You want to do this? I mean, Monday night, Tuesday, Sunday, like all the days were the same. It's I think Bon Jovi, sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink, Schlegs. Sometimes when you're alone and all you do is think. And it was a pretty awesome time. But that was like early January. These guys are going to be getting into it here in a minute. But for the graduating seniors, like this is it. This is their time. They've been grinding for this for 4 years. And so I'm curious, get some libations, have some dinner tonight, maybe go out Friday. But the real question is like, how much are they going to get after Saturday night going into the celebration? And then Schlegs, do you tailgate before the celebration? Is that
great questions.
What?
These are all great questions. All great questions. All answers are probably very, very good at this point. So, here's the thing. This group of guys are really serious. Like, here's the difference, Bob. You can only do so much. When you won a national championship in 2002 with those boys, guess what? It was the older guys that were getting ready for the Senior Bowl and the NFL Combine and all of those things. You were not. You were a freshman. You could do whatever the hell you wanted to do because you're going to roll in there with Al Jiggity, steal some shakes, and then let's go because the coaches need to take a breath, right? So –
oh, no, they're back. Schlegs, they got the mid-years. They're working now, man.
That's what I'm talking about back then, right? It was different. Coaches could take a break. Like, you could, catch your breath and then – but now you have mid-year guys come in. You have the transfer guys come in who just got off of a season, mind you, who played a lot. So that's something to take into consideration. You have all this transpiring. The number one thing for the guys that are seniors that are graduating, is like getting their body right. And they have to stay with it because you're going to go to a Senior Bowl. Like, your stock has already gone this much higher.
I will say,
I
think a lot of the guys, I don't know about all of them, but I think almost all of them pulled out a lot of their bowl games. And I was talking to Jim Nagy yesterday about this, who runs the Senior Bowl, because Lathan had told him he was going to play. And I think he said after Oregon, it's like, we got another game, maybe two. And so, like you said, you do it to get filmed. They got so much of it now, and they need rest at some point.
Yeah. And Bob, to your point, like, I absolutely hate the way the combine is now. It's so close. That's why all these guys don't be like, well, they don't want to test because they're hiding something. No, think about this. All these other guys that are graduating that don't go to a postseason, don't go to a bowl game, they had all of December. And now they have another 7 weeks of training, of getting their body right and physical training to go into the combine. These guys just got done. Combine's in like 5 weeks. That's terrible, right? So that's where, honestly, if it's Ohio State, you should bump back your pro day even so that you can give your guys more of an opportunity to be able to train accordingly. The landscape is completely different now where it was because you went to the 20th, even as opposed to the 12th, and the length of it, because before it was 4 teams. Now you got 12 that are intermittent in there. So there's just a lot of moving parts. Totally agree and understand if those guys don't want to go play, because you just got your film good on good. And that was the reason why you go to the Senior Bowls or East-West Shrine game or what have you, is so you can get good on good film. Well, these guys just had 7 weeks of good on good. They're good. You know what I mean? So anyways, Buckeyes.
Best on best. I mean, you could say like that's literally the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
So I get it. So yeah, those guys, a lot of them pulled out. Yeah, I'm with you. The combine's in 5 weeks. I would not participate.
You know, I ain't ever pulling out, Bob, but we just go. I understand why they do.
Yeah. I mean, you're ballsy. But let me ask you this. What was your I talked to Lathan, and so he's gonna join us.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna like maybe do a little follow along with his draft process here and keep this rolling. I may actually have him start like leading some segments and give us some show ideas and things like that to help develop him a little bit.
I like
develop
this.
here. But also, like, everybody's always intrigued. You played in the East-West Shrine game. I did not play in any of the bowl games. I was recovering from that.
You're recovering from a broken freaking ankle.
Yeah. I mean, some people were just like, why aren't you running the combine? I'm like, because I broke my ankle. Like, that's the thing. I mean, I'm trying to get it better, but it takes time. You know, so with that, I want to know kind of what your process was like coming out of that. We played what, like probably New Year's day or two after New Year's?
We played, yeah, I think we played New Year's Day. I think it was the first, Bob, against Notre Dame. And then I think I had 3 weeks till you played the East-West Shrine game. That's where I went, right?
Like right now, this week.
This week, like literally this week. So, you know, you come off a season where you're training your face off and you're playing and you're doing all these things. And mind you, like, guys, listen, like, there is a little bit of rest because there are some good questions in the chat. Ooh. You still need to train. You still need to train. Your body still needs to run. Okay? Like, you can lose strength by not working out. You can lose speed by not running fast. Like, that's just there. It's just is what it is.
You can microdose. Like, you got to manage the volume of that. Like, you got to ease into that volume or you'll blow
100%. 100%. That's where, again, I say intensity is king. And it's where you are. Like, that's the difference. These guys are going off. They're trying to get combine ready, not necessarily OTAs ready. This is a whole different tangent. I'll maybe come back to this because, like, think about this too. When these kids go to get drafted and go to OTAs, they haven't been practicing. They haven't had the volume for practice. And then these teams will get them. And it literally is the rookies that they drafted with some practice squad guys, and they will just run the shit out of them. And then they get hurt. And then they get soft tissue. I'm just telling you, they haven't prepared the tissue for it. Anyways, there's a process. Somebody in there, I think it was Emily. Emily, I'm not worried about it because Coach Mick and the boys and the AT and all that nutrition, that all plays a part. They did a great job managing the load here. And again, if you have to go and ooze into spring ball just a little bit slower, who cares? It's all good, you know? So the guys that haven't been playing have already been training. They're fine. So like this week is like one of those like weird weeks. We travel back, we reset, we get a couple two, catch your breath. Boom, I guarantee you next week for about 85 of the 105, 115 that you got, it's getting bumpy. It's bumpy time. The other ones ooze in. And again, everything is not created equal. It's a meritocracy. And just so you guys know, within a workout at Ohio State, you literally have probably 9 to 10 different workouts. You have your guys that are returning from something, return to play guys. We'll put them in their own bucket. All right. That can even be broken into 3. Then you have your skill, big skill power, all broken down to ground zero, AKA developmental, right? You need some stuff, gen pop and advanced, predicated upon a lot of different variables, all going on at the same time. That's how it is. Also based on all of your extra high need things, asymmetries, weaknesses in different areas, mobility stuff that is all measured. Like that happens too, along with the field work. It just is what it is. But I do not be anxious, Emily. Cast all your anxiety. Okay.
You're not. Lean not on your own understanding.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Good question, though. I understand why you're worried.
Where do you put what group is a plus 40, 7-year vet with elbow and back problems? What group was he lifting in right now?
You're in. Rob, you remember back in the day, people don't know this. So back in the day when James was still playing, who did he bring over? He brought another guy that played at Penn State.
Josh Hall.
Josh Hall, super nice. And then Eddie George had just interviewed for the Bears, head coach at Tennessee State. Eddie was in our old man group. Bob, you would be in the old man group. Okay.
No, it's called the executive group.
Yeah, we're the executive group. I like old man because I like being frothy and being able to do a 36-inch box jump in a pair of jeans and boots is kind of like, okay, I feel good. I'm kind of springy. I'm ready to respond. And that's the only reason why I train. I just want to feel good. So yes, we would be in the executive group where we go in there, not so much John Simon, because in the executive group, the hardest part about building a workout for the executive group is that we all like to train certain ways because that's how we love to train, not necessarily what is actually the most beneficial for us. And so then you're like, and then everybody just starts leaving. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I got to leave and do that. Like, just modify it. Like, no, I'm just going to go over here and do this. Then now your group is just me by myself working out. That's terrible.
Well, modify because it's what you do or what you physically can do because you have limitations on I can't bench, I can't do this.
We can figure out something.
There's solutions for institutions, Schlegs. I mean, definitely that. Like we know that can be the case. But yeah, that's interesting. So those guys, they're in the ooze in process. Like we're on to next season right now for the mid-year guys and the transfers. The older guys, like, hey, what did Urban used to call it? The 1,000 rep guys. Now it's like the 2,000 rep guys. The guys like Sonny Styles who played a ton, Caleb Williams. The interior of the offensive line. JJ Smith, Carnell Tate. I mean, those dudes who played a ton, a lot of reps, like they're going to ease them off and it'll be tough. And we'll talk about this as the weeks go about how you still create that culture because you want the older guys in there to be the leaders, to be the guys that can show them how to do it. And you can't just tell them about it. You've got to be about it. You've got to show them it. And so that's going to be a big piece of them getting that done and how they're going to operate. We got Lathan here waiting. So before we get
Let's go, Lathan!
About my friends over at Export, athletes, parents, we tell you about this, protect what matters most with Export cards. They're trusted by professional dentists and designed by professional dentists and used by professional athletes. Export mouth guards scientifically tested to absorb those high impact hits, protect your teeth and your brain. Got 3 layers of advanced protection, patented use of carbon fiber. They 3D print it right to your grill. More protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication. So you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com today. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Lathan Ransom, All-American and now national champion, coming up next.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Make sure you tune in.
I love you, Cleveland.
All right, now I'm pleased to welcome our guy, number 8, All-American, and now national champion, back in Columbus, Ohio. He's got some fresh braids because he couldn't do his hair because he had to keep it clean the whole season. Couldn't be changing it up. Made it through the whole year healthy. Lathan played every single game. I mean, how about that? How are you feeling right now, physically, health-wise, before we get going?
Yeah, physically, health-wise, actually, I think, I did a good job throughout the playoffs, staying on top of my body. It's probably the healthiest I felt in a long time. I mean, you got your nicks and bruises and snap for the game, but feeling really good. Spirits really high. Man, I feel good.
Oh, I'm happy you feel good. You should feel good. Like literally, like you got you got a new hairstyle.
Hairstyle, man, got some braids in. It's funny, I was telling Bobby is I wanted to like braid it and do some twists and stuff during the season, but I mean, I don't like. I'm really big on real particular in my routine. So if I'm playing well and my hair's not braided, I'm not getting no braids anytime soon. So
The
right
next thing, have you guys on the team already talked about some team tats, some together tats? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those that get tatted together stay together. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a male female, do not ever do that. My Uncle Tim told me don't ever conflict that.
Yeah, you know it's actually crazy. So I had tattooed my whole arm and my whole sleeve going into the season, but I actually saved because all my left arm is representing my family, and then my right arm is kind of representing my journey, where I was born, where I was raised, and I saved my bicep. I didn't touch it before the season. I told the tattoo artist, I said, "It's saving this for Ohio, but I'm saving this until we win the national championship before the season." So now, man, it's funny. All the dudes are coming up to me like, "You can finally get that tattoo. You can finally cover up that spot." So all season I played without this spot tattooed, and man, I'm glad that we spoke it into existence, and now I can finally get this tattoo. So I'm trying to brainstorm unique ideas, with the Blocko or the national champion, stuff like that right now. But I'm excited. I've been waiting to get this tattooed all year, so I'm excited. I'm very excited.
All right, so we got a bunch of questions that are coming in the chat for you. We'll get those in the second segment here, but I want to talk to you about this. The national championship game, just a phenomenal job defensively, especially in the first half. But, talk about the preparation for that game and what it was like leading into it and what was the expectation for it.
Yeah, I feel that the reason that we were able to play at such a high level throughout all the playoffs, especially going to this national championship game, I think our coaches and Coach Day did a great job of, we all understood in that building that there's nothing else that matters right now. So between the meetings, the walkthroughs, more meetings, everyone in the facility, whether it was from the trainers, from the EQ, from everybody, lived in the facility for the last month and a half. And I think that's why we played at such a high level throughout the playoffs, man, because we were so dedicated, and it showed. It showed the way the defense is. Cody's able to make checks, and we're able to echo them. The D-line's able to shift, and that's just speaking from the defensive side. Obviously, the offense has their own stuff, but the way we're all, like, people are saying that we play like we're on a string, it's because of the reps, the countless reps that we take at practice. Is so particular. Like Coach knows is a wizard back there, and if the scouts aren't running it, how the team we're playing running it, he's gonna freak out. And so particular in the way our preparation is, man. So I think the coaches did a great job, and that's why we were able to play at such a high level.
I love that. I want to get deeper in that, but I don't, because I want what was said. 18 play, 9:45, first drive, Irish. Okay, now, then it was 3-and-out punt in the half. Like literally, you only had 3 more series, but the last series was 27 freaking seconds, like a run the ball and off the field right for halftime. What was said after that drive, and then how that played out for the remainder of the game, or even what was being said on the field, right? Like 9:45, that shit. Like, so what's going down on the drive, and then what happened after?
Yes, first of all, it's funny. We all had a bunch of jokes to say about that drive. We were on the bus after the game, but it definitely wasn't funny when it was happening. But I'll tell you one thing that went through my head in that first drive. I said, man, this quarterback is tough. The way that he was running and getting hit and kept getting back up, I said, man, this quarterback is extremely tough. And we already knew that going in, but when I was seeing it in person, I was like, wow. But I think the biggest thing that was said, man, was everyone calm down. Everyone just do their jobs. Like I said before, and it's funny, me and Cody were talking about, is one thing that, was engraved in my head, and Ohio State made sure that I understood now that I'm leaving, is just do your job and execute the plays that come. That's all you have to do. You never have to do too much. You never have to do anything. It's that simple. And it sounds cliche, but it's do your job and execute the plays that come your way. And that's what we ended up doing in the first drive. It's funny. I was making jokes. Jack Sawyer gave the best pregame speech I've ever heard since I've been at Ohio State. And then we were laughing and then they drove right to the heart of our defense. And I was thinking, if Jack gave that good of a speech, I don't know what the Notre Dame pregame speech looked like, because we were so hyped up going in, and then that happened. But it's funny now, though. But no, I think our defense, we shook back and played great. And but yeah, that first drive I'll never forget that drive. That was the longest drive I've ever been a part of.
So, we were down there with a bunch of former guys that were there with Urban, and we were talking, watching that drive go down. And any defensive guy, I don't know how you are, Lathan. I was talking to AJ about it, and Schlegel's like, I always like to get that first drive out of the way. You're kind of amped up, and I always come off and I always feel exhausted after the first drive. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna play anymore. But that was usually, it's like a 3 and out, maybe 6 plays. I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, I was kind of worried. I'm like, man, you guys are coming out, and the offense had the 3rd and 5. I'm like, if they don't get this, you got to go back out, and you really haven't had a chance to settle back in yet. And like that, you had to be exhausted at that point.
Exhausted, like you said. So I'm on the punt team too, and it ain't nothing worse than when you hear punt ready. So me and Caleb heard that, and when I see JJ get that first down, I said, okay, we're good. Everyone's good. Everyone's ready. But yeah, like you said, man, it's funny. I didn't even realize that drive was that many plays until I came to the sideline. Like, I just remember just being out there. I'm like, I'm just tired, but I'm just trying to execute. Like, I wasn't even thinking about how many plays were out there. And we came to the sideline, I seen that only 4 minutes left. I'm like, man, that was the fastest first quarter I've ever been in. But no, I mean, hats off to Notre Dame. I think, like, what we talking about, especially on the defenses, they did not go away. Regardless of what the score was, regardless of what it was, they continue to play hard. And I think that, I mean, we talked about it the last time we was on here, just seeing 2 great cultures, 2 great historic teams play. That was just great football. Like, it was just cool to be a part of that. It was great football, great game. 2 teams playing hard, everything on the line, man. It was just special to be a part of.
Yeah, it was. It was special to watch. And, Marcus, I mean, he's a Buckeye, and you watched that game. Have you been able to watch the game, like a replay of the game?
Yeah, I got some free time. I was like, I wanted to watch it. It was funny watching that first drive. It hurt to watch it, but no, it was fun to watch that game again.
Yeah, Marcus did a good job of breaking down the game for his guys, right? We got to get 3. Let's get 1. Well, we got 1. Then we got to get 2. All right, so let's shift now to the end of the game. And, they make a couple of plays, Lathan, like a couple of missed tackles, right? Like, what is being said at the end? Or do you guys feel like we got it? We just got to settle in? What was kind of that mentality going into the latter part of the game to close this thing out?
Yeah, so I think the biggest drive, of the game was the drive they get into the red zone. I think it's 2nd down. They throw a fade on me on the tight end, get a great defense. Then Jordan gets a stop on 3rd down for another PBU. And then right there, like, we were all talking, we were ready. We were ready for him if they were going to kick or go for the field goal or go for it. And I think we were just basically saying when we came to the sideline, man, just everyone do their job, calm down. Like, we're good. We got to execute our job. And luckily they missed the field goal, and that was a great feeling. That was a great feeling to see that field goal. Now that was a big time stop. I mean, it's funny too, is we talked about it before. Is Sonny actually comes up to me. I started laughing when they're starting to get in the red zone. He's like, "It's all right." He's like, "You know, this is where we play the best defense." So I started laughing, and yeah, I think that's what said, man. Is I think our team and defense does such a great job at, even in the biggest and serious moments, man. We're just having fun. We're just having fun with each other. So much emotion being shown, flying around, cheering each other on. Like, I've never had so much fun playing on a defense until this year.
It's awesome.
Well, when you have a defense that's old, man, you got a lot of guys that played a lot of ball, and so everybody knows what to do, and you play with each other so much. And like Schlegel's, our senior year, I think we had 8 seniors that were playing. A lot of guys were 2- and 3-year starters, and so it's fun to communicate. You can do a lot of stuff. I mean, did you talk? I mean, it's like you, Cody, I think Ty are all 5th-year guys on the defensive side. Obviously a ton of 4th-year guys in there. I mean, going into that one, like, everybody said, just play for one more. I mean, did it feel different? Did it feel like the last when you guys were coming out to the game?
Yeah, I think it's so crazy. It's like we were sitting there after the game, and I'm like, I was so, it's not even brainwashed, but so, like, used to the schedule, the meetings, and go back and another game. I'm over here like, I don't even know what to do now that there's not another game. Like, I feel like we should be prepared for something else, just because we were so used to it. But I mean, now to just sit back, take some breaths, and just kind of enjoy and see what we did, it is crazy. And just to think about is I seen Justin Hilliard and Pete Warner after the game, and I was laughing. When I first got to Ohio State, I used to be like, man, Justin Hilliard, a 5th year, like, I could never do that. Like, imagine. Right. And now I'm looking at myself like, man, that's me now. So it's funny just to see how, it comes full circle. And it goes by fast, but it was funny to see him.
Before we take a break, and it's funny because I talked to Cody about that, and when he came in today, and it's interesting when you guys come in, you get recruited, and it's 5 years seems like an eternity away because you're 18. I mean that's basically a quarter of your life at that point that you'd be giving up, and if I would have told you, last year, you think about at some point during one of your many injuries. And so I told Cody, like, think about, when you're not playing really much after your second and third year and trying to find a way. Like at that point, if someone would have told you this would have been the rest of the story, like, could you even have believed it?
Yeah, that's so crazy that you said that. As I'm driving with my girlfriend Viv, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, like, I wish I could go back in the time and talk to my younger self. Like when I was facing injuries, when I was facing adversity here, and just, really at the bottom of the bottom, and I could just tell myself, like, it's going to be all right. Like, just continue to work hard, continue to do everything the way you do it, man, because it's going to be all right. And it's crazy to just think about the journey that all the older dudes have had. And me in particular, man, I'm thankful for all of it. I'm thankful for all the ups, the downs, because I wouldn't want to change anything for the world. I appreciate it, and I feel like it's changed me as a person and as a football player, and I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful.
Well, man, we're super thankful for you. And all right, we're going to take a quick break. We got a lot of questions fired away in the chat here, and so we're going to take a quick break. We're coming back so we can answer the folks' questions. More with Lathan Ransom coming up. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show with our guy Lathan Ransom, All-American, newly minted national champion. Lathan, and we talked a little bit. Want to kind of stay with this, go through the draft process, and everybody wants to kind of, stay up to date with you. And then also, man, I mean, you're a guy that wants to get in the media, so I'm going to challenge you with some of this. Where I'm going to have you, like, you and bring some topics, like, and you're going to lead some segments on what you want to talk about and what's going on. So this will be a great opportunity to help sharpen your sword as well as we move through this, but. Couple questions here. First two from some folks. Did you have a favorite team growing up, somewhere you always wanted to play? And did you ever think about getting into coaching?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of players now. I'm really not a fan of teams too much. Like, I just like enjoying watching players. When I was a younger kid, I was a big 49er fan growing up, and had my heart broken when they lost to the Ravens in the Super Bowl. That was my biggest heartbreak. But really, those are my team I really like. And then as far as coaching, I did want to get into coaching when I got to college, but then I seen how long the coaches and how much the coaches are in the facility. I mean, people think about how hard we work. I mean, I'm in the facility to me all day, and the coaches are in there twice as much as me. So I think if I did get into coaching, I would love to start at the high school level, down the line. I would love to start at the high school level. I think that's the purest football there is high school football. So if I do get into coaching, it'll start definitely in high school.
Yeah, it's good. My dad coached, Sleggs' dad coached in high school. I mean, it's a pretty cool feeling. Another question here. They want to ask if you could talk about your relationship with Caleb Downs, how that's evolved over the course of the season, playing off of each other's strengths.
My brother, truly is my brother. Probably my closest friend this year. We're people that were together probably too much. I mean, as far as the much film we watched, as far as getting to practice early, as far as being the last two dudes off the field, I think we constantly, man, did everything we could to make each other better. I think that him coming to Ohio State was a blessing in disguise for me, is because being a competitive guy, I'm always competing against Caleb. No matter what we do, we're trying to make each other better, and he is doing the same to me. And I think that definitely helped the way we played on the field. And then having a guy that I know is going to handle his job on the other side of me and make a bunch of plays, as I'm going to do the same. I think you go out there with play with unbelievable confidence. So it was a blessing having Caleb come to this team.
No doubt, man. Hey, I want to ask you this. So I didn't ask you this, but somebody else did. Let's get a favorite playoff moment besides winning it all, right? So how about a favorite play, favorite hit, favorite funny story, like whatever, man. What's like? There's a lot of them out there, man. What do you got?
For me personally, I think my favorite hit was definitely the one on the running back against Oregon. I mean, I had a couple big hits in the playoff, but that was definitely my favorite one. The one I still to this day think that Arch Manning fumbled when I hit him. I think he did.
I know he did.
So that one, I really wish I got that one back. Funny moments. I think just all the memories I had with my teammates in the hotel, in the meetings, in the walkthroughs. I mean, we really lived together for a month and a half. So many funny memories, so many funny jokes. I think Jack, if you guys see Jack Sawyer and Sonny Styles do a great Coach Knowles impression. And I think those impressions on the way back after the game is hilarious because, all the coaches are sitting in the front of the bus while we're in the back. And they're doing them extremely loud. So I know Coach Knowles hears them in the front and all the coaches stuff be laughing when they mimic them. So I think, man, those were definitely, the funnest memory and moments.
It's amazing because Coach Knowles, he comes out and raves about Cody and how he does so much. I was like, man, for the last 3 years, all I've heard is, that ain't it, Cody. The whole time, beating him up. And I'm like, then he comes out, you finally get your flowers at the end. Like, Cody Simon, really smart player, does everything for us, and tremendous. We actually got a question coming in from Cowboy Cody here, wanting to know what you're reading right now, what you're studying in your Bible at the moment.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm actually in a book of Joshua. Actually, I started reading it because of Caleb. So Caleb's journey, as a Christian, started a lot before mine. So he knows his verses a lot better than me as I'm going along in this journey. And before games, actually started during the playoffs. I asked him Caleb, let me get a good verse, to read tonight, or let me get a good verse to read as we're preparing for the game. And he told me about, the book of Joshua, and that's actually how him and his brother were named in Joshua and Caleb in that book. So I started reading that, and yeah, that's what I've been reading right now. And it's kind of crazy how it kind of correlates, to our journey as, Joshua's going through and he's kind of killing kings right now. And I kind of felt like that was us in the playoffs, going through the playoffs, having to win our game. So it's kind of been cool to read that as, the playoffs have went along.
That's freaking awesome, man. I love you guys. I love the way that your guys' team is, and I love the way that you guys are representative of Ohio State, how you pay it forward, how you serve people. This goes into I'm not going to ask this other question, but I want to know about you. So next steps, right? So this is very unique, right? You just got done playing, and as good as your body feels, you've been in camp just like anybody else that came off of going to a playoff game in the NFL, right? You have a lot of games that you've played, a lot of practices, they all equal up. Now you got a Senior Bowl or East-West Bowl, then you got the Combine, then you got, Pro Day, then you have OTAs and stuff. What's your mindset right now going into that process? Or you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give myself some grace. I'll figure it out at the end of this week and then move forward.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a little bit of both. It's funny, I'm in a group chat with some of the guys. I muted it a while ago, but some of the guys that are training where I'm going to be training at. And it's funny as the playoffs are going, I'm seeing the group chat kind of beep of dudes training, dudes working it. And it's hard for me right now because, talking to Stu and talking to the guys, they're like, you need to let your body rest for a week. But in the back of my head, seeing other people training and getting better while I'm not, I don't like that. That's not a good feeling. I'm a dude that, I want to get better. I want to train. So right now, I'm giving my body a rest, enjoying this until, Sunday they got the little celebration. And then, Monday I'm flying out to Orlando to where I'll be training at and, getting straight to it. I think even today I was bugging the guy I'm working with. I'm like, I see how they're meeting and doing, prep meetings, preparing for, meetings with coaches and stuff. And I was like, I need to call today. I want to start today and already start preparing because I'm just a guy, want to be prepared. And, this is a goal I've always worked on. So, I'm excited to get the opportunity for that.
All right. And lastly, we'll get you out here on this. Enjoy it, man. Because once you start the next process, the capstone, I know you guys got dinner tonight, which is going to be an unbelievable event. I guess one of the questions is like, I mean, as the party stopped, I mean, as you guys roll through this, and are we gonna be going out of Saturday night and Sunday morning coming into the celebration?
Yeah, so the parties definitely were after the game. After the game, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of juice. I'm curious. That's what I'm about to ask my teammates and stuff tonight. Like, do the parties continue on Saturday or
Yes.
it's Sunday with the celebration? And it's definitely done after that. I can't do no more. Like, I can't do no more. I've enjoyed it and stuff, but I think that it'll be definitely done after Sunday. So I got to see the guys what they're doing with their minds and stuff for Saturday.
Hey, enjoy it, man, because you got one shot at this. This was 5 years, the culmination, man. You get Joshua 29-11, like you'll see it all, like the plans that are laid before you, and that was awesome to watch you guys, stick with that. And I was telling Cody today, man, like the secret in life is just keep showing up and keep getting it done. So Lathan, we appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Have fun tonight. Have fun on Sunday, and we'll catch up again real soon. All right.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys.
See you, brother.
Lathan Ransom, man, All-American, one of my favorites. Great player.
Yeah.
Really, man, great dude. Just helping feed everybody, educate everyone out there. So excited to kind of follow his journey and help him grow in this process as well. So, all right, coming up next, we got our headlines. We'll get to some more here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some.
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Make sure Oh man, it's like I could talk to Lathan for hours, man. He's one of my favorites, and like you get to know these guys, like especially him and Cody. They've been around so long. And I've got a chance to get to know these guys on the back end, and they're both very different but unbelievable people, and they're part of this unbelievable defense, Slags. And I told him, like, if you guys win it all and keep playing like that, you have a chance to be the best defense in Ohio State history. So throw that up there, Pat, as we can take a look at these guys. And it's not very big, but if you look at this, Slags, number one in scoring defense.
Read it.
This is national. This isn't the Big Ten. Number one in scoring defense, total yards per play, total TDs per game, opponents' total TDs in the red zone, and they played 16 games. So it wasn't just 12. That's through 16 games. They were second in sack yards, second in TFL, second in total sacks, second in passing TDs, second in opponent red zone scoring percentage, second in opponent red zone TD percentage, third in rushing defense, third in passing defense, third in sacks per game. That basically encompasses just about everything. The only thing they weren't like phenomenally elite in, Schlags, was third down, but I'm going to give them a little bit of grace on that one.
Yeah, and I don't see turnovers in there either.
Yeah.
So, but again, let's go back into the totality of Ohio State defenses, Bob. I don't know where we were in all of those single categories, but that's elite of the elite ever here. And I think, I believe our senior year, we might have been like 5th overall defense in the country. I think we were number 1 in rushing. We gave up some stuff through the air, but
We had like 50 sacks, though. We had a ton of sacks.
yeah, we did have a lot of sacks. But I mean, just these guys, credit these guys too, man. Like they had 23 sacks all of last year. They had, I don't even remember. I think they had 51 sacks going into this game, So anyways, I'm just so proud of them. But it goes back to what, Bob? It goes back to what, like we talked about, his Lathan's relationship with Caleb, everybody being on the same page. Honestly, a great job of coaching. One from Ryan, again, getting the staff together after the Oregon loss. What are we going to do? That happens. But Knowles and all the boys that are on the defensive side, what do we have in our personnel? How do we allow it to be at its best?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Bob? And like, hey, we need our guys to be fresher. Okay, they don't need to be playing wide nines. They're more of like a 7. Boom. Now we can do some more stunts with them. Keep them closer because you can't do that if you're just straight speed rushing on the outside. How are we going to bring some fire zone? Oh, poof, David Copperfield, we got this guy, Caleb Downs. He's just a ball player, but he can really fit the run. So can Lathan. Well, you know what? We also got Jordan Hancock, another fifth-year type guy. We can play a 3-safety look.
Yeah.
You don't know who the Mike is. We'll bring that was the beautiful thing, right? They could do so many things because they were such a veteran squad with a high football IQ. They communicated very well and they played fast, hard, and violent. And that's why you get those stats. And I would say probably statistically the best all time at Ohio State.
Yeah. And definitely the most versatile with what they could do. And so we'll talk a lot about that. We'll talk with Lathan a little bit about that defensive look that gave people so much trouble. I want to go next to an unbelievable clip of what Ryan.
Oh, is this headlines? I thought we were just rambling. I apologize.
That's all right. It's good, dude. It's all we do for basically 50 minutes anyway is ramble, Schlegs. They said you were born a rambling man. Go to Ryan, like, look at what Dad did. And this is why you get into coaching. And this is why, like, I love being around the guys. So this is why you do. Like, we got trophies, we got our stuff, but to have those guys get this stuff, we can throw that up there, Pat, about what it is. And I think we even flip it. I think there's audio on it to listen to Ryan talk about it. Let's hear him.
Hear about these guys for the history of college football. And, these guys get to go back to the Woody and put their arm around their wife and their kids and say, look what Dad did. And to me, that's all that matters, because that's why you get into coaching. It isn't to hoist trophies or, make big contracts or anything like that. The reason you get into coaching is to help young men reach their dreams and goals, period. At least that's what I and our staff are in this thing for. So when that's your focus, then, you wake up and you realize that as awful as, some things can happen and, during the season, you look at those as opportunities. And now you get to tell an unbelievable story behind it. And that's exactly what life is all about.
It is, man. And I know you go in there, you take your kids, I take mine, and that's it. And now those guys get to do the same thing. They've got something to be able to show off and an unbelievable story to tell behind the trophy.
Yep. And, Urban said it's a blood transfusion. The other thing, too, is like even as Ryan, because he's the CEO of Ohio State Football LLC, it's the other guys on the staff that have never won it. Hey, let's start Carousel. James Laurinaitis. James never won one. Hartline never won one. Like that's the reality of it, right? Like 14, we won one. Like I didn't win one in 02, right? But those guys didn't go through it. So once you're at this point now, as a coach, but you also know what your guys need. And more importantly, like you can be like, hey, kids, like my own kids, I know what it looks like to be a champion. I know how guys who train that way, that are elite at what they do, what that looks like, feels like, acts like. I'm not feeling that from you. You need to be more disciplined. You need to be able to go do your PT. This is what Lathan does. I use that all the time for a lot of kids, right? And then then it's really special because, hey, Dad, you coach that guy, or what was he like? And here's a helmet of CJ Stroud sitting in Sam's room. You know what I mean? Like, what is that guy about? Dude, that guy loves the Lord, is a great teammate, and is great at his craft. Like, look up to that guy. Great. That's what it's about. So it's both ways on that, but it's something that we always remember. Go to the next one because it's really funny.
Yeah. And then the last one is Schlegs, throw that up there, Pat. The Big Ten winning back-to-back SEC championships. It's been cold in the South, folks. They had 10 inches of snow in New Orleans. Atlanta got snow. It's been a zoo getting out of there. And people thought the North wouldn't be back in football until hell freezes over. Well, there you go, Schlegs. Looks like that happened this month.
Look at that. Look at it. Oh, my gosh, man. It looks so beautiful. I remember just hunting pigs one time. It was freezing in Texas and snowing. It was so much fun. People were like, this is crazy. What are you doing? I'm like, we're going to kill pigs. And we're swimming in the rivers and stuff, and it's like 30 degrees, and that's cold, right? It's not. If you're in the north, it's fine. It's just another day. But, hey, man, back-to-back national champions, regardless of what you want to say about Michigan. Back-to-back Big Ten champs. And there was another great nugget about where all the guys came from that made up the roster, the states that made up the roster of the national championship teams, Bob. And it was like 61 of were from Ohio. So kudos to Ohio football. All right. And hell has frozen over for the South, and Big Ten has won back-to-back national championships. And the way they did it this year, Bob, was very, very impressive.
It was absolutely unbelievable. All right. We coming up next. We get to answer some more of your questions. We did it with Lathan. We're going to go to some of the comments here and answer some of the questions on Tailgate Talk, brought to you by Real Truck, coming up next.
Get the most out of work, life, and all your outdoor adventures with top-selling upgrades for your truck. Guaranteed fit, free shipping, easy install, expert support, and thousands of dealers just a click away. Bring your truck to life. Real Truck. Upgrade today and save between $50 and $400 on select Real Truck products. Visit realtruck.com/specials.
All right, now we're into Tailgate Talk, brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck. Real Truck, taking out for your truck, Jeep, Bronco, whatever it is. Bring it to life. You go to realtruck.com. They got unbelievable accessories for the interior, the exterior, everything you want and need. And here's the best part. We got another promo for you. If you go to Real Truck, you spend $100, you're going to get free shipping if you use promo code Bobby at checkout. $100 or more, you get free shipping. How about that? Absolutely tremendous schlegs. You get a chance to see that. So be sure to go check them out at realtruck.com. Bring your truck to life at Real Truck. All right.
bro, hey, listen, I'm gonna start this off. I love all the northern folk talking about the southern folk, and it was, I hope they are cold and have dry skin for the next. I was like, I love it. Yes, misery loves company, everybody up there. Keep going.
Misery does love company. I hope they're cold and have dry skin. Like that's a double whammy, dude. Like why are you gonna wish dry skin on somebody? I was looking for this comment that was made, and I don't know if they deleted it or not. And it was
a great one. Just make it up.
I'm not going to make it up, but it was in there. And the comment was, I said we're going to get to, I think, yesterday, and we didn't get a chance to. But it was like, I don't know why everybody's talking so much about Ryan Day. This was all about the players. And
that's what it was.
And I'm like, the answer to that question is people are talking about Ryan Day because the players are talking about Ryan Day. And we didn't even get a chance to ask Lathan that, and he'll be on again next week. And we're going to get into that relationship, talk a little bit about, that players meeting we addressed and talked about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and players plus one with Ryan, and like why everybody loves Ryan so much and what it means. Like, and Ryan's pushed us all to the guys. Like you heard him say that, like how big it is, why he's into coaching and what it means. But I think those guys played as hard as they did, Schlegs, for their coach, for the love of their coach. And there was a great quote in, that's hanging in the weight room. The true soldier fights not because they hate what's in front of them, but because they love what's behind them. And those guys' connectivity, their love for each other and their love for Ryan, and like they can feel that back and forth. That is why so many people are talking about Ryan Day with this.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's also into their staffs or his staff that he's assembled. I think the D-line loves Larry. I think the LBs love James. I think the wide receivers love Hart. I think the running backs love Locke, right? The DBs love Coach G and OG. You know what I mean? Like the list goes on and on. I know the tight ends love Coach Bailey. I mean, hell, he and I got in it the first day in the weight room. Like, this is my area, motherfucker.
Jesus.
That happened, right? So sorry, but it was great. It was conflict. I love that stuff. And guess what, man? It's awesome. He and I have a great relationship. We're texting back and forth in the group. That's what it's about. Like, and that's what I don't think people understand is that they love their coaches, they love each other, and they are developed, man. Like they are developed physically, they are developed emotionally, spiritually, and we have a great group of guys. And that's why I get excited about it. You know what I mean? So But that's why we're talking about the coaches. That's why we're talking about Ron, because the players do that. Because you and I, Bob, we actually should just go down and talk about guys. Because we can just go straight down the list and we can say, why we love them, because you will never hear on this show why we don't like them or why they should be replaced, because we were those guys. People that do that stuff, just so everybody out there knows, is because they've never been in our shoes, nor knows what it feels like. Or you never trained like us either, and you don't get it. So we're not going to be those type of people. But you, Bob, are in there every single day, and I've worked with all these men. I love them, and I love what they bring to Ohio State, regardless of where they are on the team.
Absolutely. Well, go Bucks, Schlegs. Coming up next, we're going to have our parting thoughts of one Mr. Anthony Schlegel.
All right.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some.
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Make sure you tune in.
I love you, Cleveland.
All right. Parting thoughts with Mr. Anthony Schlegel.
All right, here's the parting shots that I'm going to go. Emily, dadgummit girl, you're like firing away in this chat. Show the one with Devin. So here's the thing. Devin's going to Cal. Awesome. Mitch is going to Virginia. Yep. Awesome. I love the fact that these guys stayed and did that, but I also want you guys to know that nothing is guaranteed. Just because they stayed, they get hurt. I don't know the scenario. Maybe we should look into it, Bob. If the school that they're signing with has to verify that they're going to accept the scholarship if they get hurt. But I love the fact that those guys stayed. They wanted to finish it out. I appreciate that. Emily brought up a great point. Any thoughts on the guys that are saying what they did on scout team or whatever, et cetera? So I'm not going to talk about the young guys that just got there on scout team. You can talk about the Joey Vasquez and the Rudzinskis of the world, and hell, Coach Wilson's son Toby, right, of the world. Like those guys. Listen, those looks, those happen. Think about this: we got 5-star wide receivers all over the place, getting reps, yes, but also giving scout team reps. Then you have your defensive linemen, and Caden's up there getting 2s. But I've seen all of those guys, regardless of stature, go in and just give reps, because that they know that is critical for their offense to see that type of speed. So defensive line-wise, like Edric Houston, a guy on the rise, and a hero, and a K-Mac, that all happened through that process. So again, it is critical for those guys. Do we have some dudes coming back that are going to add a lot of value? 100%. But again, the longevity of your team helps when you have a scout team that is also healthy. Because if you don't, that fall backs on your 2s, that then carries over to your 1s, and that sustainability allows you to be fresh at the end of the year. So yes, Emily, credit to all those guys that gave great looks this season. Parting thoughts, Proof David Copperfield, go Bobby Carpenter Show.
All right, Buckeyes, big show again tomorrow. Stay locked in. We'll see you at 12:30 for the Bobby Carpenter Show.